Good morning, students. Hope everybody is staying safe at home and following all the classes through Jnana Diksha, right? Okay, children. Tell me one thing. Which is very special day to you? Yes, of course. It's your birthday, right, children? Yeah. Why that day was very special to you? That day, we will get wishes from our parents and also friends, and we will be very excited to cut the cake by inviting our friends, and also we will wait for the gifts from our friends and relatives. And one more thing, while cutting the cake, before that we will eagerly wait and we will be excited to wear the new clothes, right? Like that, the whole day will become very special. Okay, children. Now, let me tell you one incident which was happened. One day, Anish, a 5-year-old boy, was very happy. Can you guess why he was very happy? Yes, that's Anish's birthday. On that day, Anish woke up early and he wore the new clothes and he was excited to go to the zoo along with their family members. They went to the zoo and there he saw so many animals in the zoo, and he is asking one doubt to his grandfather that, Grandpa, tell me the differences between the animals and us. Then his grandfather replied that, yes, Anish, we will take food with our hands, but animals cannot. And we will talk, but animals cannot. And suddenly Anish said that, I know one difference, Grandpa. We wear clothes, but animals cannot. Yes, everybody laughed and appreciated Anish. Isn't it, children? Clothes are very necessary to our life, right? And some necessary things are there in our life which were necessary to our life to lead in a proper way. Those things are called as basic necessities, and those are like food and shelter and clothes. Isn't it, children? These are minimum basic necessities in our life. In Hindi, we can say them Khana, Makhan and Kapde. మన తెలుగులో ఏమంటాము? ఆహారము, నివాసము, ఇంకా దుస్తువులు. Yes, these all are the minimum basic needs to sustain our life in a proper manner. In these three important aspects of our life, let us discuss about the importance of clothes today. Okay? And children, why do we require clothes? Yes, clothes protect the body. Clothes protect our body from external exposures of atmosphere like hot, coldness, and also from insects. And also, yes, our clothes makes looks as very beautiful, and also clothes shows a symbol of our status, right? Okay, children, do you know in the olden days how the clothes were? In those days, they used to wear animal skin, leaves, and also grass. In those days, they don't know how to sew the cloths. They usually used to tie the cloths or wrap the cloths. later onwards, needle was invented and they started sewing the clothes and wearing the clothes. And even in the nowadays, we are seeing so many different types of clothes in the shops, right? These clothes are called as fabrics. What we can call these clothes? As fabrics. We can say different types of materials which can prepared, right? Now, children, I would like to ask you 3 questions. Yes, ready? Yeah, see the questions. What is a fabric? And what are fabrics made up of? And where does these fibers come from? These are the 3 questions. Now, children, can you tell me what is a fabric? Yes. Now, we will discuss one by one. Fabric is a cloth or material produced by arranging threads together, right? Fabric is a material prepared by arranging threads together. Okay. These threads arranges to prepare the cloths, and we can see different types of cloths, and we can wear different types of cloths according to the weather and situation. Like in the functions we wear different types of clothes, and in the summer we wear different clothes, and in the winter we wear different types of clothes, right? Okay. Then, like, I think already you guessed different types of cloths like cotton, jute, woolen, nylon, rayon, polyester. I think so many you can guess different types of clothes, right? In that, cotton, wool are natural fibers, and come to the another fibers like nylon, rayon, acrylic and polyester. These all are called as the synthetic fibers. Children, we are going to discuss about these all cloths. First, synthetic fibers we will discuss later in this class only, but we will start with the natural fibers. Okay. And now, my second question. What are fabrics made up of? Okay, we said already fabric is a material which is prepared by arranging threads together. Then what are these fabrics made up of? Okay, let's see, children. If you see, this is a fabric. Yes, this is a fabric. In this, if you observe, actually, if you see this fabric very keenly, if you observe this one very cleanly, you can see, if you have magnifying lens, you can observe the threads arranged together in this fabric. Otherwise, you can zoom your mobile camera. You can observe the threads arranged horizontally and vertically, children. Okay. Now, if you observe, this is a continuous piece, fabric is a continuous piece, and even if you observe, you can see horizontal and vertical threads in this, right? Horizontal and vertical threads in this. Yes? Yeah. See, in these threads, if you see here, if you remove the thin strands, from this, yes, children, are you seeing the thin strands which I am showing? Yes, these are the thin strands which are used to make the fabric. Okay, these thin strands are called as yarn. Okay, these thin strands are called as yarn. And now I am removing one of the yarn from this, one strand of the yarn from this. Okay, and these strands I can even make very thinner strands, right? Otherwise, I will show you. See, if you observe this, it is a thread. In this, if you observe, okay, if you observe in this, very thinner strands you can find, right? Very thinner strands. very thinner strands you can find. And one more thread I am showing you. In this also you can find very thinner strands, right children? The hair-like structures you can find in this. These hair-like structures are called as fibers. Children, didn't you get now? These thinner strands are called as fibers. Okay. So, I think now you have clear about fabric is derived from yarn, and yarn is made up of fibers. Yes. If it is the cotton fabric, see, if it is a cotton fabric, it is made up of using cotton yarn which is derived from the cotton fabric. If it is a wool fabric, it is derived from the wool yarn made up of wool fibers. Okay children? Okay. Now, so if you see in the picture, the fibers are the basic units in the fabric that fiber can make into the yarn, and yarn can convert into the fabric, right? Fibers are the minor things in the fabric, and that fiber converted into the yarn, and yarn converted into the fabric. Okay, I think now my last question. What is my last question? From where does these fibers came? We are using the fibers to make the different types of fabrics, right? From where these fibers came? Okay, we have so many different types of sources for these children. Now, let's see what are the sources for these fabrics. Okay, fabrics are preparing from the fibers. We have some sources for these fibers. If you see, we have the sources from the nature like animals and plants. From plants, we can get cotton fiber and linen fiber, and from animals, we can get silk and wool. Not only this, we have some other fibers also. Let's discuss about them in the class. Okay. Now, actually, I think you are very interested to know about the preparation of the fabric. Means I showed you some fibers from the fabric, right? I think you are thinking how these fabrics made from these fibers. How these fabrics made preparing from these fibers, right? Okay. In that, let's see from cotton. Okay. See children, now we are going to see how the cotton is converting into the fabric. Okay. And now see, actually cotton journey starts from the fields. Cotton journey starts from the fields, and then it converted into the fiber. That fibers converted into the yarn, and that yarn make as fabrics, right? So, let us discuss one by one children, step by step. Okay. Now, see, cotton. From where do we these get cotton? From the cotton fields. Okay. This is the cotton which I have collected from the cotton fields. Okay. These cotton can get from the cotton balls. Okay. These cotton balls we can call as cotton fruits. You know children, why I am calling cotton balls as a cotton fruits? Because in this we can find the seeds. Usually we can find the seeds in the fruits, right? That's why I am saying this one as a cotton fruit. Okay. Actually, cotton balls takes 5 months to grow. Then, after cotton ball matured, it opens and white color cotton comes out. Okay. And white color cotton comes out like this. Okay. Usually, this cotton picked by hands. Okay. After picking the cotton from the cotton balls, then we need to remove the seeds from the cotton. Okay, we need to remove the seeds from the cotton. Usually by hands we can remove the cotton seeds from the cotton. Okay, this is the process. Removing the seeds from the cotton is called as ginning. Okay, this is we called as the ginning. After ginning, the cotton is ready to make it as yarn. We discussed that fibers converting into the yarn, right? How to make cotton as a yarn? Children, I think you have seen your grandmother or your mother preparing the wick to lightening the lamp, right? How they prepare? Yes, they will hold some cotton in their hand and then they will take some cotton into their hands and they will twist these cotton fibers together, right? They will twist cotton fibers together. Like this, we can twist the cotton fibers. This twisting of fibers is called as spinning. Okay, this is called as a spinning. Continuous piece we can spin from the cotton fibers. This is called as the spinning. Usually, by spinning cotton fibers with hands, it is not that much strong to make it is a fabric. So, to make the cotton yarn into the fabric, now to make the cotton fibers into the yarn from olden days using two instruments which are called as takli and charka. You can see in the picture. Takli, and this is the takli which is in the left side to the screen, and this is the charka which were used to convert or spin the fiber into the yarn, right? In this picture, you can observe our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, who encouraged the people to do not use the fabrics imported from the other countries, and he encouraged the people to wear the homespun khadi. Okay, when this was happened? At the time of freedom struggle, and that moment when all Indians burnt all the imported cloths, that movement is called as Swadeshi movement. Okay, Swadeshi means our country's clothes only, using all the Indians. Okay, children, and these takli and charka we are using to spin the cloths. After spinning, usually now to reduce the time, means easily to convert the fibers into the yarn using machines. And also, after converting yarn, we need to prepare the yarn into the fabric, right? How to convert that yarn into the fabric? There are the two methods to convert yarn into the fabric. They are knitting and weaving. They both are different. Now I am going to show you what is knitting and weaving. Okay. If you observe the picture, in the right side you can see the knitted cloth, knitted fiber, and here you can see weaving, right? Okay. Right? Here you can observe. Generally, it is the fabric which was knitted by using the single continuous piece. Okay. Here pink one, yellow one, separate threads are using and knitting. Generally this knitting is used to make wool fabric only. And come to the weaving, we can weave all types of fibers. Okay, and what is weaving? How the weaving will do? Actually, weaving can do in the looms. In the looms, yarn strands arranged in the two methods like horizontal and vertical. Let me show you. See, if you observe here, you can observe yellow color vertical lines, right? These yellow color vertical lines are called as warp. and the horizontal pink lines are called as wift. Okay, they can arrange one by one here like this. We can arrange like this. I think you have seen mat making in your villages, right? We can arrange this, one up and one down, one up and one down. Okay, this is the way of converting yarn into the fabric. Okay, and usually converting yarn into the fabric, right? And here you can see hand looms and power looms in the picture, right? Hand looms are worked by manpower and power looms can worked by using the machines. Okay, this is the journey of the cotton from fields to fabric. Okay na? And now after cotton one more fabric I am going to discuss with you, that is jute, which is coming from the jute plants. Okay, jute plants are to prepare the jute fabric, we use the jute stem of the jute plant. Generally, jute plants can be immersed in the water some days. After that, it can be converted into the yarn. These fibers are called as the golden fibers. After drying these, that can be converted into the threads by weaving. Okay, and then here you can see in the picture some jute products like jute bags and some other jute threads and jute shoes also. Okay, okay children. Now up to now we discussed about the natural fibers which are coming from the plants, right? Now let us discuss about the natural fibers which are coming from the animals. Yes, as we discussed before, natural fibers which are coming from the animals are silk and wool. Okay, let's we start to know about the silk. Okay, how the silk was prepared. Okay, before that, children, do you know when the silk first prepared? Where it was prepared? Listen, we are in the lockdown period, right? We are in the lockdown period, right? Why we are in the lockdown period? Because of COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, did you guess? Yes, the silk first prepared in China. Do you know how it came from the China? According to Chinese legends, the Empress Seilongqi was asked by her emperor Chuangxi that to identify the cause behind the damaged mulberry leaves which were growing in their damaged mulberry leaves of mulberry plants which were growing in their garden. Then Empress started searching what is the cause behind that, what happened to the mulberry leaves. One day she identified white color worms are eating the mulberry leaves. White color worms are eating the mulberry leaves and also they are making a cocoon and which is shading. Okay, and one day evening she is having a tea in the garden. Suddenly one cocoon fell down into the cup of tea. Then the tangent of fibers, delicate fibers, spreaded into the teacup. Yes, then started the journey of the silk. But in the China only, they established so many companies about the silk fabric preparation and all. They kept this as a secret for so many years. Later on, traders and travelers transferred this silk into the other countries. Okay, making the silk fabric, we have some steps, and making this silk fabrics step by step, that is called as sericulture or silk farming. Okay, let's see the steps in the silk farming. Okay, in the silk farming we have some steps. See, if you observe in the picture here, for the sericulture, the basic thing is silk silk moth, which is looking like the butterfly. Here you can observe the butterfly. These butterflies kept in a mesh like a stands in a separate room, and then these moth lays eggs. These moths lays minimum 500 eggs in one go, and they will die. After egg laying, these eggs are stored in a special chamber. That special chamber was prepared by chopped mulberry leaves. Okay, here from these eggs, the white colored moths comes out after laying the egg. Okay, so from egg to larva, the worm takes 10 days to come out. After coming from the larva, after silkworm, continuously here silkworm, see, it eats incredible amount of mulberry leaves. Here silkworm eats incredible amount of mulberry leaves continuously 35 days. After that, it starts framing the cocoon. Then after framing the cocoon, it converted into the moth in 10 to 12 days. Okay, in this time it releases a chemical which melts the cocoon fiber inside it, and it comes out. So here silk farmers do not want to damage their cocoons. That's why they use these cocoons. They took these cocoons from these cocoonages and they toss them into the hot boiling water. Okay, when they will pour them into the hot boiling water, that cocoon will be loosened, and from that we can collect the silk fiber. Okay, this converting silk, taking silk from the cocoon fiber is called as reeling. Where this was happening is called as the reelers and twisters. After collecting the fibers from these cocoons, that fibers can be cleaned, bleached and colored. Okay, then after reeling, weaving can be done. Okay, how the weaving can be done? In the looms. As we discussed before, weaving can be done in the looms. Actually, in our country, it is a traditional occupation to weave the cloths. In our state, we have Pochampalli and Dharmavaram famous weaving centers, and Pochampalli Pochampalli Pattu have the special name for that, Jamdani or tie and dye. Okay, now this is the way getting the silk fabrics from the silkworm. And now one more fiber which is coming from the animal is wool. Okay, now let's discuss about the fibers which are coming from the wool. Okay children, this is the fabric. This is the fabric which was prepared from the wool. Okay, this is the fabric which was prepared from the wool. Okay, here to prepare the wool, we can follow some steps again. And before that, see, when the wool started, according to history, the wool preparation started from the human civilization, and the leaders in world for preparing wool is Australia and India. Australia and China. Okay. Now let's see the steps involved to get the woolen fabrics. Okay children? Yeah, we can see. Here we have so many steps to get the woolen fabrics. See, in the picture if you see, there are the steps in the preparation of wool fabric. Okay, first, here we have shearing, scoring, sorting, bleaching, dyeing, combing and cording or rolling, spinning, weaving and knitting woolen fabrics. Okay, let's discuss about the step by step. Okay, yeah, in the shearing, first what happens in the shearing? In the shearing, sheep farmers shear the sheeps along with the wool, and then this wool is ready to clean. After shearing, the wool will be cleaned. Okay, because their dust unwanted materials will be there. To removing that one, silk wool making farmers will clean that. This cleaning process is called as scoring. Okay. After scoring, the next step is sorting. The next step is sorting. In the sorting, why sorting is important means, in the sorting, different types of different sizes wool fibers will be there on the sheep. That why they will separate them, and after that after sorting, bleaching will be done. In the bleaching, the original color of the fabric will be removed. Okay, original color of the fabric will, fibers will be removed. By removing this, we can apply different colors whichever we want. Okay, we have to apply the colors, that is the dyeing, that is the step. Fifth step, dyeing. In the dyeing, woolen fabrics can be colored with different colors. Here, wool have special nature that it easily get the colors by dyeing. After dyeing, the wool can be combed by metallic comb. It will be combed. By combing, it can be softened. Okay. After combing, if you see, next step is rolling and twisting. Okay. In the twisting, what they will do in the twisting, they will twist the wool fibers to 2 to 5 strands together. By twisting, we can improve the strength in the fibers, and after that, all twisted fibers will be rolled. Okay. After rolling, to make yarn, spinning will be done. After rolling, spinning will be done. By spinning, after spinning, we can make the woolen fabrics by using the weaving and knitting. Okay. In the knitting method, some consumers can take this fabric to knit the fabrics which I have shown before you, and also they can make different types of woolen fabrics like this. Yes, this is knitted one and this is the weaved one. Okay, this is the knitted one and this is weaved one. Okay, and these are the steps which were involved to prepare the woolen fabrics. Okay, children, up to now we discussed about the natural fibers and preparation of the fabrics which are coming from the natural fibers. Okay, now we have another fibers which are preparing artificially. Okay, before going to that fibers, children, let me tell you about a fantastic world called fiber world. Okay, fiber world. In that fiber world, one exhibition is going on. So many chemicals there in that fiber world. Those all chemicals went to the exhibition and they visited so many fabrics which were prepared by using natural fibers, and they have seen so many materials which were prepared by the natural fibers. Okay, then they started discussing. After returning, they have discussing that why these people are not using these chemicals to make us as a fibers. If we also involved in the fabric preparation, how it will be? They are discussing. Then slowly their wish came true. Yes, man started using chemicals to prepare the fibers. Those fibers are called man-made fibers. Okay, man started preparing the fibers by using the petrochemicals. He prepared these petrochemicals by using so many chemical steps, by using petrochemicals, they are synthesizing these fibers. That's why these are called as synthetic fibers. Okay. So, man-made fibers from petrochemicals. So, man-made fiber which are preparing by using the petrochemicals, by using the so many chemical processes, all called as synthetic fibers. These synthetic fibers are preparing you to use many household articles also. Examples: nylon, acrylic, rayon, polyesters and plastics also. Okay, children, now, yeah, these synthetic fibers made from the polymers. The synthetic fibers made from the polymers. Here, these all polymers are made from the monomers. Monomers are the identical units. Children, you can see here, you can observe in this so many, you can see here so many beads arranged together to make a long chain, right? This is called as polymer. Actually, this polymer is a Greek word. The meaning of the polymer is many parts or many units. Okay, polymer is a Greek word meaning many parts or units. Yes, children? Okay. Yeah, man started using the preparation of the polymers, right? Yeah, as the chemicals wish, one by one polymers are joining in the fabric world. So let's see which fabrics which are preparing. Okay. Now in that, let's we discuss. Before that, we discuss about how to identify the fabrics, if it is the synthetic or man-made. If it is synthetic or natural. Children, if you want to check your fabric, if it is natural or synthetic, you should do in the presence of your adults, in the presence of adults only. See how to test the fabric. So while testing the fabric, you have to take the fabric's vertical line or horizontal line. Then you have to test it by conducting the burn test. Okay, if you get hair burning like hair burning smell, it is called as natural fiber, which is wool and silk. Okay, if you get smell of paper burning, then it is natural fiber, which is cotton. And then if you observe the fiber is melting, then it is synthetic fiber. Okay, children, this is the way how to test the fabrics. Okay, now we are going to see how the synthetic fibers are preparing. Okay, one by one, let's we check. First, we are going to check about the before that, see, synthetic polymers, man-made polymers are two types. Man-made polymers are two types, which are producing by using the natural sources, example rayon, and synthetic polymers, one more type is using man-made polymers producing by chemical reactions. For first one example is rayon and the second one is nylon, acrylic or polyester. Okay, so from this, first we will discuss about the rayon. Okay, first we will discuss about the rayon. Okay, children, if you observe my saree, see, it is not the silk one. Yes, right? It is looking like the cotton one, but it is actually the silk saree only. Okay, so see, actually silk is very costly. It is not able to buy everybody. That's why slowly when the man introduced the synthetic fiber, then it was came to use, that is rayon. Rayon replaced the natural fiber silk. That's why it is called as artificial silk. Okay, children, let's we see how the rayon will be prepared. Actually, the rayon is man-made fiber. The rayon is the man-made fiber. The rayon is the man-made fiber. Rayon is the man-made fiber which was prepared from the natural raw material by using the natural raw material wood pulp. Okay, in this wood pulp cellulose will be there. This wood pulp will be, see here, if you see steps in the preparation of the rayon here. See, the first wood pulp will be soaked into the sodium hydroxide and carbon disulfide. When these two soaked into the water, then it forms a sticky natured material called viscose, and after framing the viscose, this viscose will be transferred into the spinneret. Spinneret will spin the viscose into the fibers of rayon. When the rayon is formed, it will be solidifies and it is ready for the weaving. Then we can prepare the rayon articles. If you see in the picture, some rayon fabrics, we can use the rayon in so many areas, like we can use for the gloves, we can use for preparation of the band-aid and also for the sanitary, and also we can use it for the preparation of carpets, sweaters and also jerkins, right? Okay, now next, after rayon, we have next synthetic fiber is nylon. Children, let's see how the nylon will be prepared. Okay, nylon will be prepared by using only chemicals. Nylon was the first synthetic fiber which was prepared by using only chemicals. Okay, in the how nylon was prepared. Nylon is a polymer of polyhexamethylene diamine. Nylon is a polymer of polyhexamethylene diamine. Okay, in this the monomers in the nylon is hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. Hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. By combining these monomers, we can get the polymer of nylon, as I said, polyhexamethylene adipamide. Okay, if you see the reaction involved in the nylon preparation, look at this. Nylon prepared by using hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. By combining these two, you can get the polymer, you can get the monomer of hexamethylene adipamide. So, by combining so many number of these monomers, we can get the polymer of the nylon. Okay, nylon is very strong fabric. That's why we can use in different areas. See the examples for the nylon. Like we can use nylon in the brushes and umbrellas and in the parachutes and also in the shuttlecocks and also some socks, right? Okay, now okay children, we discuss about another polymer, another synthetic fiber, about the acrylic. Okay, acrylic is a polymer of polyacrylonitrile. Okay, polyacrylonitrile is prepared from the monomers acrylonitrile. This acrylonitrile is involved 85%, and in this preparation of the acrylic, secondary monomers also using, they are like vinyl acetate and methyl acrylate to improve the quality and to use the dyes. Okay, and acrylic is called as fake fur. Do you know why the acrylic is called as the fake fur? Because it looks like the natural fiber, but it is the synthetic fiber. That's why we can say it is as fake fur. Okay, in this, when preparation of this one, these all synthetic fibers will be forced to a metallic cylinder which is called as the spinneret. Let's children, I show you how the chemicals are coming out and how the fibers are coming out from that metallic cylinder. See, if you observe, the threads are coming out, right? See, the threads are coming out, right? Here, when the fibers are preparing, we are using in the spinneret, some tiny holes will be there. From these holes, the chemicals are coming out, the monomers are coming out to make as polymer to coming out. Then it can prepare as the fiber. After solidifying, we can make it as we can convert into the fabrics. Okay. By changing this tiny holes shape and structure, we will also get different types of polymers. Okay. I think you have seen different types of snacks by preparing. I showed this you example how the spinneret works to becomes as a to come out the fibers. Okay. Now, children, all the I told in the starting that chemicals are discussing why we are not involving. Now they are very happy that by using chemicals, so many synthetic fibers are preparing, right? Because then which are the fibers came up to now? Synthetic fibers, acrylic, nylon and rayon. Okay, we have so many natural fibers, then why we require the synthetic fibers? Yes children, why we require the synthetic fibers? See, because synthetic fibers are having the nature like lightweight. They are very lightweight and they are very strong and they are dries very quickly and they are having abrasion resist, means it will be very comfortable. If we wear, it will be very comfortable and it is easy to maintain also. Okay, after that the man didn't stop making the fibers. He started combining fibers into the another fiber. Here the combination means combining fibers in one fiber into the another fiber is called as blending. What is blending? Combining fibers with another fiber. Synthetic fibers easily combines with another fibers and they forms new which is very qualitative fabric. Okay, and now we have so many advantages by blending the synthetic fibers. Okay, and then here the man didn't stop here, and when one more fiber came, the fiber when it was came, the whole costume culture was changed and also it was revolutionized the textile industry. Okay, that is none other than polyester. I think you know so many polyesters, right? Okay, here if you see in the picture, polyester is a polymer which is formed from the esters. Okay, in this polymer, terylene is a popular polyester, and here polyester can easily combine with cotton and wool. It forms terrycot and terrywool, and also polyester can be used. Polyester can be melted and spun, and also polyester used to make fibers, and also it is used for the preparation of the bottles to boats. Okay, if you see, I said polyester easily can combine with another fabrics. If you observe resin, if you observe in your dresses, you can find labels like this, right? You can observe the labels like this. Yes, you can observe the labels. In this you can see 98% cotton and 2% polyester, means this fabric is made with by blending two fabrics. Okay, blending is very useful. By blending we can get so many useful materials. Example, if you combine polyester with cotton, cotton is having the nature of wrinkles, but polyester cannot have. So if we combine, we can get good fabric which is fabric free, okay, wrinkle free. And children, if you want to identify the plastics in your house, how will you identify? By seeing the resin identification codes. We have 1 to 7. Children, if you check those resins in your home, you can find 1 to 7 resin identification codes, right? 1 is PETE, HDPE, 3 is PVC, 4 is LDPE, 5 is PP, 6 is PS, and if you find 7, it is others. Means here that 7, if you find the 7 means that plastic item is not prepared from above 6 and it is not prepared for combining these 6. Okay, it is another one. Okay, and then we have so many synthetic fibers and all, but we are preparing so many plastics. What is a plastic? It is a polymer. It is a polymer like many other synthetic fibers, but it is available in different shapes and sizes, and it is having variety of uses. And in these monomers arranged in differently. In these monomers are arranged in differently. Children, if you see here, how the monomers will be arranged. Two ways the monomers will be arranged in the plastic. They are linear arrangement, and see, if you see here, polymers arranged linearly, like linearly, and one more one, cross-linked arrangement. Children, I show you cross-linked arrangement, how the cross-linked, see, if you observe here, this is the linear one, this is the linear one. If these are arranged, these are combined in crossly, they are the cross-linked polymers. Because these arrangements of the polymers in the plastics are available in different shapes and different sizes and having a variety of uses. Okay, then here we have two types of plastics, thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics. By heating, if the plastic can be molded repeatedly without losing their properties, it is called the thermoplastic. And if it only molded once, we cannot repeat again to make another item, that is called thermosetting. And by softening again and again, the thermoplastic can be softened by heating, but thermoplastics can be softened again and again, but thermosetting cannot. Examples for the thermoplastics are polythene and PVC. And come to the thermosetting, bakelite and melamine. Okay children, in the picture you can see so many polymers are preparing to make so many articles around us, right? Polyethylene used to prepare these articles like toys, film wraps, covers, and covers to the electronic and all, and PVC to make pipes and floor, and also for sides of the houses. In the polystyrene we used to make the to prepare the and also we use this one into the cabins, and also we use this one for the packaging food, and also polyvinyl acetate we use it into the paints, and also we use into the adhesives. Okay children, why we are preferring the plastics? Because they are very less expensive and they are very poor conductor, they resist the heat and electricity, and they are non-reactive and strong and durable, and they can recycle. We have so many different shapes and sizes, that's why we are preferring. Okay, all the chemicals are very happy by inventing one by one. Now they are appreciating the scientist who invented first plastic, Alexander Parks, who invented the Parkinson, and also they are appreciating the scientist Bekeland and also Hermann Schrödinger. Bekeland is a scientist who invented the bakelite, and Hermann Schrödinger won the Nobel Prize by demonstrating polymers are the long chain. Okay, and children, what happening for all these fabrics, all these plastic items and all the synthetic fibers, what we are doing? Now coming to our world, if you see, we are throwing all the items into the dustbins after using, right? If you see the triangle, you can see the days of the breaking of the material. Microorganisms can decompose the items. If you see fruits, paper, cotton, cloths, they are taking some time, but come to the plastic, it is taking a lot of time. If you observe in the picture, here you can see water is completely filled with the plastic items. If any aquatic animal wants to live in that cannot be able to live in that. If you children, what happens if it cannot able to live? See, if any plastic item, see, if you observe, if suddenly any plastic obstructed the animals, if I, without using my another hand, can I open this, my fingers, can I remove this rubber? If any another band, if you join here, we cannot. So we have to show empathy about the aquatic animals. Here children, all the aquatic animals are getting problem by these plastics. We have to say no plastic. We have to save our earth, and we have to ban the plastic. To ban the plastics, we have to follow the 4R principle. What are the 4Rs? Reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. Reduce, in this reduce, We have to reduce the usage of the plastic. In the reuse, we have to again and again use, and we have to recycle. How to recycle? We have 1 to 6 coded plastics easily recyclable, and if you find any triangle which is without any number, it is called universal recycling symbol. You can see in the picture, this is universal recycling symbol. In between there is number is not there. This indicates that it can be recyclable item. And next 4R is recover. Recover plays a major role in the solid waste management. We have to utilize the plastic items, whatever we are wasting, that items can be used to produce the electricity and also other biomass and all. And also our Supreme Court made a law to everybody use this. And children, come to these are the problems we are getting from the plastics. So at least we have to take the responsibility to make our surroundings, minimum your village, your city and all, and everyone, if you do, everything will be clear. Okay, now children, next we move to the project C. Many materials or products are used to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. List out at least 5 materials or products and differentiate them as natural or synthetic fiber. And second one is environment getting affected by lockdown due to COVID-19? How? Justify your answer. Children, in the first question, you can identify the materials which are using to avoid the coronavirus and differentiate them into synthetic or natural. And environment getting affected, is it positive or in the negative way? You have to identify and write, and then you can guess your justify your answer. Okay. Okay, children. Thank you.